We're back for another week of nickel and dime football. Go ahead, get it out of the way. Hit that subscribe button right from the get go. Make sure you check back on all the past episodes. You know what's going to be fun? It's checking out our season prediction episode right when the season's coming to an end so you can fill up those comments. Let us know what we messed up. Because
Yeah,
it's been a
yeah,
crazy season. I'm sure we got a couple things wrong.
yeah. Because that Raiders pick is looking like, ooh, dog.
Bro, I was just as high on the Colts. So
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
there.
It's gonna be a crazy look back.
Yeah. But let's recap week 9. Let's get you ready for week 10. A lot of races are shaping up. A lot of NFC teams battling it out because they're not separating themselves like some of these AFC teams. So I'm excited about it. The Eagles still hadn't been beat, playing a big division rival this week. So let's talk all things week 10. Get you ready. We got your matchups, your three and out, your locks. It's nickel and dime. I'm loving that the chaos just doesn't stop, Sean. Like every
It
week, it
doesn't.
does not let us down.
It doesn't. Drew, and it's always one or two games where you're sure it's about to be locked up. And then it just goes the other way. It just goes the other way. I don't know if Vegas and the NFL are colluding. I don't know, but
Collusion.
yeah.
Your boy finally went 2-0 this week and is finally 500. Finally 9 and
Ooh,
9.
damn. Now you back.
But you
You
also
back in
went
it.
2-0. So
Oh,
we'll
okay,
talk
okay.
about locks later on because you still right there. You know, got a nice 4 game cushion on me.
It only takes 1 week. It only
It
takes one
does.
week
It
of being
does. It
0 and
was
2.
0
So
and
I at
2.
least have to,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
got to go 1-1 all the way
At,
out.
and I don't know about you, but I looked at these matchups. A lot of 50-50 coin tosses this week where I was like, felt good about a team, and then I was like, I talked myself out of
That does not bode well for the locks going
it.
1-1.
Right. All right, let's get into our week 9 recap. Talk about the week that was. First game up was one of my favorite games, and I didn't think it would be so on paper, but you got the Dolphins hanging on against the Bears when Mr. Justin
Man,
Fields rushed
yeah,
for 178 yards, had 4 total touchdowns, stuck right there with Tua and that high powered Miami offense.
they did. And I think it definitely took Miami by shock that Justin Fields was finally unleashed. Drew
Yeah.
178 yards on the ground. I think I want to say a Bears record or maybe an NFL record or something crazy like that for rushing yards in a game for the QB position anyway. Only on 15 attempts, so he hit them where it hurt. At the most inopportune times for the Dolphin defense.
How do you not put a spy on that dude like midway through? Or
At,
did they
at
and he
a,
just evaded
I
it?
was going to say at a certain point, I don't think it mattered. Like
Yeah.
he just
Yeah.
started feeling himself, and efficient 3 TDs through the air, but efficient as far as the numbers wise, only 123 passing yards. But he did what he needed to do, and I think they found the recipe, and it's just letting him create, but also keeping him from falling over himself. I don't know. It's like
Yeah.
kind of a happy medium.
And it wasn't just like Claypool came in and ignited the passing game. Like if I think it perked up quite a few of these wide receivers. Like Mooney had a pretty good day.
Yeah.
That's the most involved I've seen Kemet be since Fields joined this team. So that was pretty
That
cool.
Yeah, and we the old adage, tight end is a quarterback's best friend. Cole
Yeah.
Kmet, man, I was he had 2 TDs, but the way they were calling his name, I thought that they were tossing him the rock all over the place.
Yeah.
I do, Chase Claypool's first week, Drew. Was it what you expected? You know,
Yes. Like I expected them to. There was a couple of times where I felt Fields was forcing it to him. Like because he had 6 targets, only had 2 receptions. So
yeah,
I think
yeah.
that I think on the 4 he didn't get. I think it was 50-50. 2 were Justin Fields' fault, and 2 he
Right.
just dropped. So
Yeah,
new place, new nerves. I get it. It was nice to
yeah.
see them getting him involved.
It was. It was a lot of wide receivers running the ball too. So they're trying to
I'm loving these Swiss Army knife players nowadays.
right.
Who cares if you're a wide receiver, running back? You're an offensive player. You're a
Yeah,
threat. You're a weapon. I'm loving all these jet sweeps and these
right.
wide receiver running backs throwing touchdown passes to quarterbacks. I'm here for it.
And you know they're not going to argue with getting the rock in any kind of way. So
You want me to
they're all
throw?
going to be all
Oh,
for it.
okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yep.
yeah. We'll talk about weird stats. What if I would have told you Aaron Rodgers led his team in rushing yards? Would that be why the Packers lost to the Lions?
That would have a big reason to do with it. I think what's more surprising, well, actually, no, the three picks in the red zone, three or two picks in the red zone, three picks overall. I don't think is more surprising than Aaron Rodgers leading the team in rushing, but a surprising stat for Aaron Rodgers nonetheless, because he don't throw picks.
Right.
You know,
This whole episode is just a sham. It's not a football podcast anymore. It's my personal press conference. I brought you all here today to let you know that I personally will be benching Aaron Rodgers for the rest of the season in fantasy football.
ooh, rest of the season. This is big.
Just can't handle the stress on a Sunday, week to week basis. I made some trades. I've acquired Jalen Hurts. He will be starting from here on out.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
it is what it is.
And I'll be honest, I think you got a steal in that trade. Just to peek behind the curtain here, Drew traded from friend of the show, Chris Mara. He got Jalen Hurts.
Let me tell you what I turned that into. Like I turned
Okay.
Garrett Wilson
Mm-hmm.
into Pierce. I made that trade first, and then I traded Pierce for Hurts. So I turned Garrett Wilson into Jalen Hurts.
This man just turned a bobby pin into a mansion.
Where's that?
That's what
Where's
I
that fantasy football executive of the year? You know what I
man,
mean? Like,
that's
come on.
that's a fleecing in my opinion. Like an upgrade from Garrett Wilson to Damian Pierce was, and then you flip Damian Pierce, who's a good player, for arguably this season one of the season's best players. Straight up
Luckily, yeah.
trades.
Luckily, he had Lamar Jackson and he had Hurts for the sole purpose of trading him, and he
Yeah,
desperately needed a running back. Luckily, I
desperation.
have CMC. I
Yes,
have a plethora of running backs, which
yeah,
I have never been able to say in fantasy football. By the way,
yeah,
never have I said I've got too many running backs.
yeah,
But when you
yeah. That's
don't
the
have a
hard thing to do.
quarterback, Rodgers, you got to
Yeah,
trade one. I didn't want to let go of Pierce. He was having like he was 15 points
but
consistently
you
from
had
your
to in order to.
RB2.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and what it was a save your season move. It was an
it
SOS
was.
move. We'll see.
I'm in
We'll see
fifth
how it
place.
turns out. Yeah.
Six makes the playoffs. I'm in fifth place. I'm fighting for those spots. I'm making the playoffs this year. Okay, I'm
Hey,
doing it.
hey, lock this in. Track this right now. Make sure you like and subscribe. We
See
are
how
tracking
this
this. We want to
sanity
see
journey
how
goes.
Drew, yes, ends up at the end of the fantasy football season with
Yeah,
the marketplace that is Drew's roster right
yeah.
now. So
Well, to get back to the game, I'm feeling good about my playoff chances. How are you feeling about? Are we going to see Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs at all this year?
Drew, at this point, I don't think so. I don't think so. There's a lot of mediocrity and tightness right around in that middle, and the Packers keep losing, so they're falling even behind the mediocre. And I got to give myself a pat on the back. I was very leery of this game because it just seemed like with all the L's that Green Bay had been going through, that this was right for Detroit, and they picked him. They picked him right off.
Yeah.
I kind of saw this coming, and good on Detroit for and special shout to Aiden
We
Hutchinson.
love
You
it.
know what I'm saying? Yeah,
We love a Lions win. Uh,
yeah.
Speaking of Packers, currently sitting 11th in the NFC.
That's a recipe for not making it, is what it is.
Yeah.
And the Vikings just keep winning. Old Kirk, old bangs, big drip Kirk. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, I don't know what I enjoyed more is seeing him in all the drip or Adam Schefter making fun of him on Monday Night
Yeah.
Football. That topped it for me.
Yeah, that's the instant two instant memes is what it
Yeah,
was.
yeah. Man, we gotta give them their dues. This Patriot defense is looking phenomenal. They put up 26 points in fantasy football this week. The defense.
The defense 26 on the in IRL in real life, and then
Yeah.
also on the fantasy charts. Uh,
They destroyed the Colts this week. Got my man fired. I'm not
I was
seeing
gonna say,
anything
yeah,
special, not especially not some special sauce coming from Sam Ellinger. 103
no,
yards and an interception. Every time I
yeah.
tuned into the game, he was getting popped by Judon. So
I mean, and I think the defense had what 9 sacks or something crazy like that. Like Matt Judon, I mean, he had 3.
yeah,
It was a
nine
party.
sacks,
It was a
nine
party.
nine
Uh,
sacks.
it was crazy, and I thought they might get some juice from Sam Ellinger, but at this point, Drew, you have to ask yourself: they've already said so they can't save face now, but do you put Matt Ryan back in the game?
Here's the out though. New coach.
Oh yes,
The old coach said he was done. If I'm Jeff
yes,
Saturday, which stay tuned for housekeeping notes because we're going to fill you in on all the shakeups in Indy.
yeah,
If I'm Saturday, I'm like, I'm leaning on the veteran right now. If his
yeah,
shoulder's not as hurt, like,
right,
because that's what I fear is he had a really bad shoulder, and instead of doing the right thing for the veteran,
mm-hmm.
which we talked about last week, and blaming
Sure,
it on the injury, they just threw
sure,
my man under the bus. So if he is harboring a nasty shoulder injury, then it's a whole nother ball game.
right, exactly. But I think you're right because, and I'm super happy for Jeff, which we'll talk about soon. But you know, you have to do what's right for the team, and he has no loyalties to anybody on that roster right now. He can look at it with fresh eyes, really do what's right for the team, and not only that, but his prior career makes him wholly accountable for everything that happens here on out. Because I don't think that there's no losing for Jeff Saturday in this because if they lose out, great. He shouldn't have been there in the first place. But
It's a bad team.
if they win, then he instantly asserts himself. And I say he's wholly accountable because his ass is going right back to TV right after this.
Which
You
I
know what I
think he's
mean?
cool with. Like,
Exactly.
because
So
I
he's gonna
genuinely think my man was shocked to get this job.
Yeah, well, I think it probably happened on a phone call. He
Yeah,
probably just straight up called him, and he's going to be right back on TV. So he's instantly going to have to answer for everything that
yeah.
happens.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like, I couldn't imagine like your colleagues with all the like these are your guys, and now their
Right.
job is to rip you apart if you don't do good on Sundays. Like, because Stephen A. Smith was like, he always gave me the business when he was on my show. You best believe he has a slip up on Sunday. He's gonna hear about it.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
I would honestly, I would have it no other way.
yeah,
I would have it no other way.
yeah.
You
I
know.
love it. Man, probably the upset of the week. The Jets surprised the Bills. Josh Allen
I'm
had
talking
two
about it.
rushing touchdowns, but he also threw two picks.
Yeah, I think that's Drew. That's 4 picks in 2 weeks now
Uh,
for Josh
yeah,
Allen coming down on that MVP talk a little bit,
yeah.
especially with this one. But
Especially with Patrick
I,
Mahomes jumping into
yeah,
the lead.
true, and we talked about this before last week. With they slipped up with these baby Jets, now with the
They're
Chiefs
not
are
the
right in that
yeah
pole
whole new
position.
different team right now. The
It,
Jets.
it really is. But I definitely want to give more credit to the New York Jets for getting this done. I know they were home and they needed that. They needed to be home. It's still New York. We talked about that last week. But you know, we mentioned Garrett Wilson, 92 yards. This was the game that they needed him. Drew, what you about to
Mm-hmm.
get into? What you about to say?
I want to say hats off to. I think the key to this is Wilson didn't turn the ball over.
Yeah,
A lot has to be
yeah,
said. Like, he played a very good defense,
he did.
known for turning quarterbacks over,
Yeah.
and he held onto the ball. Only got sacked twice, so kudos to his offensive line. And they
Mm-hmm.
opened up some gaps for Carter to get 76 yards on 12 carries and a touchdown. So my man was averaging 6 yards a carry. Everyone
Yeah.
thought that Robinson was going to fill the gap for Hall, and Carter's like, no, I'm still on this team. So kudos for him for stepping up.
And what was interesting though is I think we got talking about the Jets. We have to give credit to the game plan because Zach Wilson was very efficient, only missed 7 passes, and credit to the offensive line for keeping him clean. I think Drew just mentioned that only 2 sacks from
Huge.
that Buffalo defense, and of course Von Miller gets his, but largely for a defense that's been arguably the best in the league, I would expect more in that department, depending on how looking at how they had been playing. So Robert Saleh continuing to take names.
Yeah.
Continuing to take names. I like it.
And shout out, we had a Mims sighting. Mims caught a pass.
Ooh, he did. 1 for 12.
Yeah. If
One
they can
for
get all those
12.
guys rolling, they got, Mims and
It's
Wilson, and they
talent.
got a dynamic duo at tight end. You
Yeah.
know, Barrios is that Swiss Army knife. Like they've got the squad there, and like you attributed to it, that game plan, and it's nice to see them spreading the wealth around and
Right.
keeping Zach Wilson upright and not throwing the football to the other team.
Yes. And, just I guess a quick one before we move on, but, Josh Allen, leading rusher in the game, but the other running backs, largely nothing. Largely
Hines had a
nothing.
very rough debut,
Yeah.
while some other first week players shined. So we'll see how
Yeah.
that develops. Stay tuned again for housekeeping notes. Got some injury concerns in Buffalo now to be worried about. So
Mm.
got that to worry to pile on to the loss this week. Seahawks in complete control of the NFC West beat the Cardinals. Geno still looking great.
He is. He is. Drew, he has to be one of the leading candidates, if not the candidate for comeback player of the year at this point.
Gotta win it. Gotta
Right.
win it. Like
Right.
nobody else
Yeah.
deserves that but him. Like out
Yeah.
of nowhere, thought my man would never play, like be a legit threat to be a starter ever.
Again. Mm-mm. And
And
just
did great.
he's in maybe this is the return, Drew, of the system quarterback. And there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
There's nothing wrong with that. Who cares if you're winning games? Who cares
Exactly.
if the system is working for you? Then why is that a knock? Is what I'm
I
saying.
mean,
So
we're finding
Gino,
out that the superstar Russell Wilson might have been a system quarterback.
exactly. If I'm a quarterback and I work within the system, then damn sure right. I'm high school, college, and pros. I'm trying to play in the
Give
same
me my
system.
rings.
Challenge me, but yes, you know what I'm
System
saying.
quarterbacks still make the Hall of Fame.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you. Drew, Ken Walker continuing,
Woo!
man, 4.2 for 109 yards, 2 touchdowns. Gino did throw a pick, but still above a 100 quarterback rating.
Yeah.
And just a nice buffet of pass catchers for Geno Smith. Like everybody, had, I mean, there was 3 tied with 5 receptions and 3 others with 3.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know,
On the flip side of that, man, what is going wrong in Arizona? Because offensively, looked like they had a pretty good game. Murray was efficient, didn't turn the ball over. He did get
mm,
sacked 5 times.
I think that's what it has to be. And honestly, looking ahead to next week, the Bucks need to be aware of that because Kyler
Yeah.
is
A little more
a
elusive.
mobile quarterback. 5 sacks, that is not good, but great for the Seattle defense, kind of ramping up, making their names known on that defensive line. I've been a big Puna Ford fan too. Very underrated
Okay.
guy.
Yeah.
And Shelby Harris he showed you when they played Denver that they made a mistake. And Shelby Harris been an underrated guy too. So there's some good people on that defense. But
Yeah.
to answer your question, Drew, I thought it spelled doom early on. So Arizona surprised me, but I don't think them getting back DeAndre Hopkins, it cured some stuff, but just a run game. They need more, man.
I want to see him play on a good team so bad. He's a
We all do.
human. He's a human highlight reel.
Yeah.
I'm tired of seeing no. Maybe all the offense. I was about to say no offense, but maybe all the offense. I don't want to see
Yeah.
Kyler throw him the ball anymore.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And DeAndre Hopkins has proved he can do it with whoever's throwing him the ball.
Yeah.
But Drew, what do you think that they were talking about? Has it come out what they were talking about on the sideline yet?
I haven't heard anything. They're
That means it
keeping it
must have been
loose
bad.
lips. Yeah,
Must have been bad. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, but kudos for nothing leaking that I've seen so far. So I don't know. I haven't done a deep dive on Reddit. Maybe so they got some
I was gonna say
conspiracy theories on Reddit.
it is nice when you got your bucket and there's no holes in that bucket though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like all
yeah,
that water is staying in.
yeah. That's nice. Uh, Shawn, did you hear the collective exhale from Tampa when the Bucks beat the Rams on that last second touchdown pass from Brady? It was nice from a. It's got to be nice from a Tampa Bay standpoint to see Brady do Brady like things again.
Yes, it was more than I was at least 30% of that collective sigh. That was 30% my breath. I was so excited. I was pissed off. And then, of course, I was excited. I just don't want the win to cure all the stink
Yeah,
that it took to get there. It,
yeah.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Are you a little concerned that you had Brady throw 58 times?
At this point, no, because he's done that a couple of times. He's had a
Okay.
couple of games where his pitch count was way up there. I think that part is not the problem. I just want more balance. And
Okay.
if Leonard Fournette needs to sit, then that's fine. If he needs to sit, I think we've proven at this point that K. Dot needs to be TE1. He needs to get more involved. He's right there. He looks, and I'm gonna shout him out a little bit later as well as some others, but he looks real. You know what I'm saying? And the thing that the Bucks fan need to realize and maybe scream about this going forward: play tempo. Play tempo. Every time something good happens for the Bucks, they're running up tempo. Tom is leaving Byron out of the equation and just doing the shit himself. That's what
Yeah.
he's doing,
Yeah.
and it's working. That's whenever our offense actually looks efficient, that's what's happening.
On a good note, it looks like you got you tight end.
Thank God.
Yeah. Mm.
Thank God. Yeah. More
So that,
chaos.
yeah. So there we go.
Uh,
Rams. Their
I
season
was gonna say,
keeps slipping from
yeah,
them, huh?
more fourth quarter ills. Not that I care.
Right,
Because
right, right, right.
damn the Rams. You got a Super Bowl out of it. Congratulations. But Drew, this has to spell doom. What do you think they need to do to get to right the ship or salvage whatever they can?
Somehow entice OBJ to come back.
Is he gonna want to go to
I
that
don't
dumpster
know. I
fire?
don't even think they're in the top three right now. Like right
They
now,
can't
like
be.
all the rumors I'm seeing is Dallas, Giants, Packers, Bucks.
Yeah, yeah. I want if we get back to 5-5, man. I think we've got a real shot. But how this is OBJ has just made himself into this commodity, and he's gonna just go
That's
to
how
wherever, and he doesn't have to sign anytime soon unless
that's
he
how
wants to.
tough the wide receiver market is now. If you get a guy, you got to pay him to where you can't get anybody else.
Yeah,
Like I think long gone are the days of having that. Like what's going to happen in Miami when they got to pay Waddle? Like I
Tyreek
don't
gonna get
think you
shipped out again. Yeah,
yeah, I don't think you see these two dynamic wide receiver teams that much anymore because
yeah.
they've wide receiver market is through the roof.
Unless you get your stars to take a discount, a la Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. Like they're making money, but Mike isn't that guy, and neither is Chris. And I think that's what it's going to take.
Yeah,
That's what it's
yeah.
going to take.
I mean, they're still set for life if they're smart about it. So like, who cares?
Exactly. Yep.
Who cares? Chiefs hold off the Titans in what was surprisingly more of a defensive battle than anything.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a defensive battle only because one of the quarterbacks just wasn't throwing the ball.
Yeah. I mean, he played the Tannehill part perfectly.
He
Hike the
did.
ball, turn around, hand it to Henry.
Yeah, but I think they've gotta want to see more from their initial investment. I mean, we've seen rookies do some magical things, and completing 5 of 16 is not it. You know,
And
that's not
again, a
it.
little concern, a very elusive quarterback still got sacked 3 times.
Yeah, yeah, and I think in this particular game, I'm gonna give more credit to the Chiefs defense, who they kind of needed it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like they need that defensive line for where they want to go. They need
and
the
they've
defensive
looked
line to
pretty
wake
good
up.
as of late. The
They
Chiefs
have
defense looks like they're coming on at the right time.
the right time. Exactly. Derrick Henry, still kind of he's still doing his thing.
Still
And I thought he
Derrick
was
Henry.
gonna be largely the story because it was 14-9 at one point, and then Patrick Mahomes just went Patrick Mahomes, like that dude,
Well,
man.
we also got to point out because we do it if it was the Bills or the Ravens, they got to get some kind of rushing game going because Patrick Mahomes led the team in rushing by a
Oof.
long shot.
Yeah. Yeah, he
You can't
did. What?
have Pacheco and Edwards both getting 5 yards rushing.
Yeah. And is this more of an indictment on a rushing game, Drew? And I'll ask you, but this is more of an indictment on a rushing game or the offensive line not opening up holes?
I mean, it's got to be the offensive line. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Titans are no slouches on defense either. So I mean,
They
they
are
were
not.
busting
Yeah.
up those gaps. Uh, but you got to do something. You got to get some kind,
Mm,
because I mean, Mahomes was able to get 63 yards. Why can't a running
yeah.
back do that?
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. And
Because
like I guess they just don't expect it from Pat Mahomes, but they know it's widely known he can scamper,
yeah,
right?
and they still had him throw 68 times.
Yeah.
Come
Yeah.
on. I know he's young and he's got an arm, but come on. You can't have anybody throwing 68 times a game. It's
No,
brutal.
I don't. Yeah, I don't think you want that because in the end, Drew, it only takes one play to change your season. You
Well, I
know,
mean, look how many quarterbacks are hitting their thumbs on helmets now. Like I
thumbs
always
on
worried
helmets.
about it.
The other one that I've noticed this season, Drew, shoulders when they get tackled and they like their arm is like this or it's like right under them. That side
Yeah,
fall is
yeah,
taking on a lot of shoulders. Matt Ryan, Zach
yeah,
Wilson yesterday came out for a play or two. It's like
yeah.
ah,
Because I don't want to take anything away from Aaron Rodgers' terrible season, but he does look injured. He does that
Mhm.
like hand every time he lets go of the ball. So,
Yeah,
but it is what it is. Everyone's injured at this point. It's week 10.
true.
Ravens beat the Saints on Monday Night Football. Sacked,
Ravens.
and I love they only sacked Dalton 4 times, but those were like murderous. Like dude got like chopped in half when they got a hold of him.
Yeah, yeah, they did, man. I aside from and talking about the Saints, I guess aside from Camaro and Olave, man, I don't know what else. I don't know what else they
Saints got to
have.
blow it up, bruh.
Yeah,
Blow it up, blow it up,
I don't
blow it
know
up.
what
At
they're
this
gonna
point,
do,
put in
man.
Jameson and hope for the best.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and that's the thing
Dalton
is,
obviously ain't getting it done.
I feel like the Ravens are definitely peaking at the right time, but their defense wasn't really a strength at the beginning of the season, and they've put the pieces together on the fly, and now they look like the
Someone
Ravens
got an
again.
all-star team like
They
together,
they
especially
really
with
do.
Roquan coming in. Like,
Calais
oof.
Campbell came back
Yeah,
yesterday. He didn't, half
Houston
a
showed
sacks.
up.
Houston did show up. And what I noticed yesterday, Drew, about them is their defensive scheme and the way that they're sending blitzers and stuff like that. It it's timed so it perfectly. What I
Yeah.
noticed, what I'm saying, especially on one of those sacks, one of those Justin Houston sacks. Like the linebacker started to come in, he came in a little hot and then came in very hot, and right at the right time was when they ran the stunt game. Houston came right around. It just worked to perfection. So
Yep.
if they're doing that week 10, week 17 into the playoffs, man.
Tough team to play. I don't want to see him. All right, let's get into the hurry up part of our
Let's
recap.
do it. Let's do
These
it.
games that we expected or just are eh.
In my Stephen A
Eagles,
voice, we don't care.
we don't care.
Okay.
Eagles beat the Texans. No surprise there. Hurts
No.
243 yards, 2 touchdowns. Shout out to Pierce though. I'm not. He got 139 yards. Okay,
Yeah.
come on.
Top draft choice in fantasy next year.
Yeah,
Believe it.
yeah. Oh, for sure. Especially if Taylor keeps going with these injuries, man. Ugh.
Yeah.
Chargers beat the Falcons. It was a much closer game than I thought, but dude, shout out to the Falcons. 201 rushing yards as a team, getting it done on the ground.
Yeah. 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 If Drew, if you stop that, you stop the Falcons though.
Yeah,
17 points.
but
That
Patterson's back, so who do you stop? They got so many they can throw at you.
just the
Algier had a
whole
good
run.
week. Yeah.
He did. He did.
So yeah, Mariota could take off at any point. Uh, this one just hurt from the volume. Bengals 42, Panthers
Ugh.
21. Bengals scored 5 touchdowns in the first half. It was
Yeah,
35-0 at halftime.
that's brutal, man.
Broke
That's
my heart,
brutal.
man. I wanted to
Yeah,
lose. Trust me, but
that's a do
not
something
that
else with
way.
their Sunday type loss right there. If you still have hope
Yeah.
at this point, I don't know who you are,
No
but
hope. No hope here.
yeah,
Mayfield came in the second half and put 21 points on the board. So that's something that'll be a talking point, especially if Walker comes out on Thursday, which the boys are debuting the all black on Thursday against the Falcons.
all
And I
blacks.
wish I was way more hyped about it.
Yeah, yeah, it sucks. You look good
But
though. You
I
look
mean,
good.
it would be nice to beat the Falcons. I hate the Falcons. That's for some reason have always been our rival.
Well, honestly, I'm pro Panthers this game because if y'all beat the Falcons, then that just gives us more, room for error. Honestly, so go
There you go.
Panthers.
There you go, Panthers. See, look at that. Vikings beat the Commanders. Commanders made it a game though. Jefferson 7 receptions for 115 yards and a
Yeah.
touchdown. Kirk wearing his chains after the game.
Kirk wearing him chains. Kirk was making some beautiful throws, man. And this is, I think we might be, I guess before we move on quickly, but we know how Kirk Cousins can be. And Drew, are we at the arc? Are we at the peak of Kirk this
I
season? You
hope
know
so.
what I'm
I hope so. It's all downhill from here.
saying?
But
We'll
they still
see.
somehow win games though when he drops. So that's the crazy thing.
Uh, yeah, yeah.
And then the
Playoffs
last
coming though.
playoffs coming. Last but not least, Jaguars beat the Raiders. ETN 28 carries, 109 yards, 2 touchdowns, and Lawrence just kept the ball. He didn't turn over
Yeah,
the ball
he didn't. I'll be honest, the boys early it was making me. I was like, damn, I'm gonna go 1-1 in these locks because the early is
because he remembered he had one of the best wide receiver in the game on his team after getting
exactly.
shut out the week before.
And I have Devontae on my team, so I was like, oh, this is great in fantasy, but damn, I thought they was gonna put up more of a
They did. It was a slow
stinker.
burn. It was a
It
slow
was a
burn.
slow burn. That's
Slow
exactly
burn.
good.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Well, that's our week 9 recap. Let's get out of it. Get on to pressing news with some housekeeping notes.
Do it.
As we mentioned before, Colts fire Frank Wright as their head coach. Name ESPN analyst Jeff Saturday as their head coach. Albeit a former player, he did win a Super Bowl there. He was the great center for Peyton Manning for all those years, but
UNC grad.
has not coached above the high school level. Hadn't been a coordinator, hadn't been an O-line coach, hadn't done nothing. They're gonna have
Innovator
the
Jim Irsay.
yeah, they're hoping this is the Steve Kerr of signings here. Just out of nowhere, head
Right.
coach wins some things. Their assistant quarterback coach is going to be calling the offensive plays.
Hey, my man, he whatever that song is, I've been waiting my whole life. As soon as he got that call, as soon
Yeah,
as he
he's like,
got
I
that
picked the
call.
plays.
Right. Yeah, man. But talking about calls, man, I swear I feel like this is what happened knowing Jim Irsay. He was like, hey, Jeff, hey, what you doing?
Yeah, yeah,
What
yeah.
you doing today, man? You busy?
I
You
haven't had
busy?
a chance to look at their coaching staff, but I heard them talk about how there's 2 former head coaches on the staff. Like, could you like? I'm just worried because I'm a
Yeah.
huge
One of them is
Jeff
John
Saturday
Fox.
fan. I'm a huge Jeff Saturday fan.
I
I'm
am.
just worried he's walking into a hostile situation.
I mean, I think we alluded to it earlier. Make sure you go back and check that out, like and subscribe while you're there. But we alluded to it earlier that I don't think he's in a losing situation just because of everything that you just talked about. Like him not having that experience, it'll be easy for them to, wash their hands of it if it goes historically bad. And good on them because Ursay at the same time was like, well, let's get this first pick, or get
Yeah,
closer. That way
yeah,
he can turn it
yeah,
around.
yeah.
Um,
Because
but
I truly think he kind of wants to make it a permanent job if he does okay. Like that's just the initial feeling I'm getting, where he's like, "Is our guy?"
yeah. Yeah, and if he does a great job, which I mean he has the football acumen to do so, then I think that he it could be a rallying point for them. Underdog story coming in. All that, all the
Yeah,
cliches. But man, I do want to see Jeff succeed. It's gonna be fun to
yeah,
watch.
yeah. Still got Gus Bradley as a defensive coordinator, so
I'll
got the
take that.
defense humming. And
Right.
uh,
Defense has got
I
to play
didn't,
better.
I didn't miss, I didn't miss the John Fox comment. They were right to pass on him. No one wants boring
Right.
John Fox football in today's game.
Exactly.
Okay, we're not
Nope.
running the ball up the middle twice and then running a screen pass on third down. Okay, that time is
Yeah.
gone. You made so many years in Carolina so boring to watch. That man does not even need to sniff a head coaching job ever again.
And good on Ursay for knowing that and just having the experience there so he can lean on John Fox for, some of this
Man, that
something.
was
But
some of the
just
most boring games I've ever seen in
yeah,
my life.
just bring in innovation. They've already done the losing part.
Yeah,
So,
try winning.
you know, try winning. Try anything.
Got to do
And they
something
are.
other than Sam Ellinger. That's for sure. Bills quarterback Josh Allen being evaluated for a possible UCL injury. So if his
Ooh,
this could get
yeah.
serious real quick for the Bills.
Yeah, that I didn't even know about that.
Yeah,
Maybe that contributed to his, playing like crap. I,
yeah.
I just hopefully he can get back. But are they saying what are they saying? Is it going to be
They're
weeks or
saying they're in the initial seeing how severe it is stages. So no timetable, no word if he's going to miss any games. Knowing
yeah,
Josh Allen, he's like, shoot me up, I'll go play. I don't care. But
right,
this
yeah.
could be a huge blow
That means
down the
he
line.
cannot be the leading rusher, is what it means. They gonna need somebody to
Yes.
step up.
Well, you see how tough and through it's working out for Stafford right now. So
Yeah.
Packers just keep getting bad news. Linebacker Gary torn ACL, done for the year.
Ooh.
Cornerback Stokes dealing with a severe ankle and foot injury. He may be done as well. They're just waiting to call it on him, waiting to see how he responds in the next few weeks. And wide receiver Romeo Dobbs, an ankle injury, out 4 to 6 weeks.
Okay. Hear,
It's three starters just done.
hear me out. Hear me out. So I think that between the football gods at these upper echelon ages, there can only be one. Okay. And at first, we didn't know who it was going to be. It was going to be Aaron Rodgers and or Tom Brady. And I think the football gods are showing us which one it may be.
All right, Tom, you get one
So
more chance.
you get one more. So it can only be one of y'all. We tired of it. Which one of y'all is it going to be? We choose Tom. So maybe this bodes
Tom.
well for me. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know what injury bugs hurting worse, the Packers or the Chargers. Defensive tackle Austin Johnson, MCL
Mm,
sprain and a fractured knee, out for the year. Big starter on that defensive line for the Chargers. They just keep getting
yeah,
hurt, man.
yeah. It's ooh, I the Chargers just you were right. I think was I because I asked a question maybe a couple of weeks ago. What is it about the Chargers that every and it's the
Injuries.
injury bug. It's
Injury
the
every
injury
year,
bug.
man.
You
Every
nailed
year.
it. You
Every
nailed
year.
it. You nailed it.
Every year. Giant safety McKinney hurt his hand in an ATV accident, out several weeks.
Man, it always looks worse when you get injured on the week off. You know,
And the Giants are
like
known for that. You remember the boat picture, not the curse, not that long ago.
the boat. If we're looking back even further than that, Plaxico Burris.
Well, Pierre Paul. Ugh.
No, there's a history there.
Giants need to just kumbaya in the basement in the
Don't
off
do
weeks and don't go
anything
nowhere.
on your off week. Stay
Yeah.
home.
I've just to feed the drama. Sean Payton brushed off recent coaching questions. He was on the Manning's broadcast of Monday night. They asked him directly if he wanted to coach, and he was like, "I wasn't."
Yeah, getting that money
Yeah,
without the
I wouldn't go
stress.
back. I wouldn't go back. You kidding me?
Yeah,
If I had a Cush commentate, you can ride that
yeah.
out to your 60s.
You
You
can't.
don't want
You
to
can get
coach.
past that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no. You're right. 60s is a good age because once you get past that, you're starting to get in Al Michaels
Just
territory where you start
retire,
saying
man.
stuff.
Just
You start saying
retire.
stuff. Yeah.
What happened to making your money and just, like I can't wait to not
Of
talk to
being
people.
obscure, fade
You
into
know, like
obscurity. You know.
I
Yeah,
don't get it,
but
man.
it's good for Peyton that he can always go back when he wants to, but he doesn't have to. And then I guess the Giants thing is just sticking with me. I guess it is the final destination
Yeah, we'll
of
get you
football
eventually.
teams on their off week. I just can't like it just hit me. I don't know,
Yeah.
you know.
Ravens wide receiver Deshaun Jackson was elevated from the practice squad. He played last night on
He
Monday
did,
Night
he did.
Football. Had one
Yep.
catch for 16 yards. So that's something to keep an eye on if the Ravens can somehow work him in to not getting injured like he tends to do from time to time. So that'd be cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Panthers sticking with PJ Walker for their quarterback for Thursday night. Uh, Cowboys running back Ezekiel Elliott misses practice again, so he might miss his second straight game. Keep feeding Pollard, man. He'll be all right.
You know it's coming. You know it's coming. Yeah.
We have our first official flex of the season. The NFL flexes Kansas City and the Chargers week 11 to Sunday Night Football.
Oh, are they expecting the Chargers to kind of?
Pick it up, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems odd.
You get one win. And last but not least, the 49ers running back Mitchell is set to be activated from IR. The 49ers now have 21 days to either activate him or he's shut down for the season.
They're gonna be activating. Oh man, that Elijah Mitchell and
We
CMC,
forgot about him. Yeah. Good
a
God,
healthy
man.
Elijah Mitchell.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, it is.
All right, let's get into these 3 and out questions.
Mm,
Sean, I got a
mm.
good one for you, man. So I'm gonna hit you with first down.
All right, do it, man. Let's do it.
With the Ravens quietly putting together an all-star team on defense and the Chiefs defense stepping up at the right times, getting some pieces there, and the Bills doing what they've done defensively. This is kind of molding into the big three in the AFC right now, currently 1, 2, and 3 in the
Mm-hmm.
AFC. Come playoff time, Sean, whose defense are you more scared of?
Ooh, it's not the Chiefs, that's for sure. It's not. It's not them. It's not them.
They're getting there. They're getting there.
They're yeah. So throw them out. But I would probably have to go Buffalo
Okay.
just because we from what we saw earlier on in the season from the Ravens, they do have some older pieces there as well, and Buffalo, I think they might be getting some pieces back if I'm not mistaken a little bit later on. Um, and just the way
They're
that they
still
had
getting
been
White
playing,
involved in things.
exactly. So he arguably one of the best corners in the league. So I would probably go Buffalo. I'll probably go
Okay.
Buffalo
Just
even
to
though they
give you
might be
some
playing on the
numbers,
road.
just to
Yeah,
give you, because I know it's not the only metric, and it all comes down to does your defense give up points or not. So points
true.
allowed
Yeah.
out of these three, the Ravens have allowed the most with 196. The Chiefs have allowed 189, and the Bills 118.
Okay. Yeah. So number
Yeah,
suggests,
yeah,
that's what we've seen with our eyes.
yep,
All right, man. Let's get into second down and just to put Drew on the spot here.
yes.
If you had to choose an upset next week, Drew,
Oof.
one that is off your radar, let's say, which one would you be more likely to choose? Would it be the Jacksonville Jaguars over the Kansas City Chiefs, or I can't choose that one. Can't choose that one. Let's go with the Washington Commanders over the Philadelphia Eagles division matchup.
I so I mean, you know me and that Heineke train. So that's my dog. So
Little spice up on it. Little
yeah.
spice
So
up.
I think the Chiefs are in that beautiful territory where they're gonna find a way to win. Like they're in that they're in that point of the season where they're finding different ways to win, and it's fun and exciting. One week
Mm,
their defense is going to pull through. I know
yeah,
they didn't have a rushing game at all this week, but
yeah.
you know, uh, Edward
Maybe
Solaire
next
could
week it
save
will
them one
be.
week.
Yeah, that's true.
They're getting Juju involved, which is huge. They're getting Hardman involved. Kelsey's Kelsey. So
Yeah.
I think more likely because you got to think the Eagles are going to falter at some point, and you got to think it's going to be a division foe that catches them because it's the NFC East. It always comes back around at some point.
Right.
So I'm not saying I'm picking the Commanders to be the team that knocks them out of undefeated, but why not? I think that's more likely than the Jags figuring it out against the Chiefs.
Man,
Because Lawrence and Etienne are making strides, but not beat the
yeah,
Chiefs kind of strides.
man. I'll be honest, like, and then the Chiefs are at home. I'm a little leery of that game, man.
Yeah. I
For the
mean, the
same reason,
Jaguars.
for
Jaguars
the
are looking good.
for the same reason that I was leery of the Packers and the Lions game
Yeah.
last week. It's just
Oof. Trap
it's
game.
just a lot of it's a lot of history there, and then boys are going to be hungry. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
That's
They're going to
fair.
be hungry.
That's
All
fair.
right, Drew. What you got on third down, man?
All right, Sean, third down. Back in the NFC.
All
Top
right.
two teams right now, 1 and 2, Eagles, Vikings. And they look to be winning each week and continuing to separate themselves. Eagles, even though they're the undefeated team, have the less gap in their division. They got the
Right.
Cowboys and Giants right on their heels. But Eagles, Vikings, 1 and 2. What team in the NFC could you see making a little run here and knocking them out of one of the two spots?
Oh man, let me go. So I'm gonna go to the standings
Okay,
for that one.
that's cool.
And if I like, because I want to, so if we had to go playoffs, let's see, as far as who's in there right now, man, if somebody's gonna go on a run, looking at the teams that are there right now,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just looking at other playoff teams, honestly, I'll probably have to go with either just to give you two, and then I'll break it down from there. I'm looking at the Niners.
Okay, especially with the offense they're
No,
building there.
true. Yeah, yeah. I guess I'm looking at the Niners and I'm looking at the Bucks. Put it that way,
Okay,
because the Bucks,
could
it
figure some things out.
should be right there for the picking. Their remaining schedule is not that hard. They're figuring some things out. They still have their bye week upcoming, which they usually look pretty good after the bye. San Francisco getting some pieces back at the right time. And I just don't know how big of a believer I am long term, rest of the season, long term for the Seattle Seahawks. They were my number
Ooh,
three team
okay.
that I think can make a run, but I think they may come back down to earth a little bit. So I'm looking at, and from there, I guess I have to go with Tampa Bay, just because their division is a little bit easier. So I gotta go with the Bucks in the end. I
Look
gotta go
look
with the
at
Bucks
the look at the 49ers being 3-0 in their division already. And that's before they did the
already.
upgrades on the team.
Right, right,
Look at
and
the
it just
Giants and Cowboys. You think one of them's going to falter at some point, but they got a 3-game lead. A 3-game lead in the wild card.
yeah.
Wow.
Damn, damn, damn. That is damn. You're right. They do. Yep,
So
yep, yep, yep,
it's,
yep, yep.
it's exciting
They,
times in the NFC.
I was about to say Giants. I mean that unless they fall on their face, which they could do,
Mm-hmm.
but Giants getting in the playoffs,
What
Dallas
a what a
getting in the
bounce back for the
playoffs.
NFC East if they go
Yeah,
from being a sub 500 team winning the
yep.
division to 3 teams making the playoffs.
It just behooves them to win the Bucks anyway, just to win the division
Yeah,
because
wild card might not be there.
hell no, because it's either win the division or you might be out,
Mm-hmm.
and you might skip from 4 to 7.
Because
So
the Commanders are
regardless
still
of
hanging around at 4-4 too. Like that's the worst team in
four,
their
four or five,
division, and they're
yep,
four.
four
Oh
and
yeah,
five,
four and
four
five.
and five,
I
yep,
forgot they
yep.
went under 500 this week.
Man, this 7 through 9 and the number 4 spot. So 4 and 7 through 9, very interesting in the NFC.
And then you got
Those teams are
Rams
all
and
looking at each
Packers
other.
right on the outside looking in at 10 and
Yep.
11.
They're not out of it. They're not
What?
out of it.
What?
Yeah. Man.
I look at the old Panthers holding it
What
up
do
as
you
the
think
worst
is
team in
okay?
the
So,
NFC.
which one, based on what we've seen and like what we're seeing play out in the NFC and then what's going on in the AFC, honestly have to ask which is more exciting? You
They
know,
both are
like is
exciting for their like AFC is the cream of the crop. So
right.
we actually get to see like the top teams in the league battle it out for those spots. And then you
Yeah.
get the NFC who's just as entertaining because now you're just trying not to suck as bad
Yeah.
as the a team below you does.
I'm getting a feeling though that for as strong as the AFC is, Drew, it's going to be an NFC team that wins the Super Bowl.
Oh, oh.
I'm just getting that
As
feeling,
long as it
you
ain't Kirk
know,
Cousins, that's all I care.
because everybody is be like, man, the AFC has the best teams. That has the best team. Watch, the NFC team will win the Super Bowl.
Mm. Oh, we got breaking news coming across as we're recording. Raiders cut 2019 first round safety Jonathan Abram.
Mm. It's a heat seeking missile without a target. That's basically what he is, you know. So you got to up your football game, man, and not just be a big hitter anymore. So I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Josh McDaniels needed a scapegoat.
And that assistant QB coach that is going to be calling the plays in Indianapolis is 30-year-old Parks Frazier.
Parks, Frazier. All right. All right. Okay.
Good for him. Good for you, buddy. All right, what you got on fourth down?
Oh man. So on fourth down, Drew, it's really like this. These two quarterbacks who I'm about to talk with have been much maligned in the past, but also have their teams rocking and rolling. Which one of these two is more likely to let their team down when it counts? Is it your boy Kirk Cousins or Tua Tagovailoa?
My man just picked two of my least favorite players in the whole league. I love it. Throw
Pick
Josh,
one.
put Josh Rosen on a team. Put him in there too. Uh,
You're just glad Nick Mullins ain't playing.
oh man, that
When
is
it
a
counts
great question. That is a
this year.
great question.
Yeah.
I gotta go Tua, man. I gotta go Tua's gonna let them boys down.
Ooh,
Yeah,
man. In the big spot, Tua.
yeah, yeah. What's crazy is because I think the stakes are higher for Kurt because I don't think he's got the talent around him in Minnesota that Tua does in Miami. They
Mhm.
can bail him out. Like, because if Tua falls, then just hand it to those running backs. They got that
Yeah.
three-headed monster. Wilson looked great in his debut in
Yeah.
Miami.
Yeah.
So Miami can turn to that run game. Minnesota can too with Madison stepping up a little bit and obviously you got Cook back there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
this is one of those years where this is Kirk Cousins has like for the fan base for ownership, he's got to take them at least deep in the play. But then again, they've been to the NFC Championship, so what? Like it's got to be Super Bowl or bust for Minnesota at this point.
Yeah.
Like I feel
Yeah.
like
Because
Miami's got a couple more years. They're still a new team. They're still getting that chemistry.
true. They haven't been
Miami's
there.
got an
Yeah.
excuse.
Yeah.
Minnesota doesn't.
Yeah.
Minnesota had Green Bay served to them on a platter because they're having one of their worst years
Mm.
since I've started watching football. Like this is it for Minnesota. They got to go
Yeah.
far.
This is their year. This is
Yeah.
their year. You're right. You're right. And hopefully and I think if you were wrong and it is Kirk Cousins, then that could spell wholesale changes
Cut
if
hit. Get
if he
rid of
lets
him.
him down in the
God, get rid of him.
really
He,
depressing fashion, yeah, it
if
could
he
be bad.
lets him down again, you can't look at your fan base and bring him back. You can't do it.
They just one of these, you know. That's
He's
basically
coming
what they
back.
be doing. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, I think Tua falters a little bit, but I feel
All
like the
right.
more pressure's on Kirko.
Big fourth down question. Big fourth
Yeah,
down question.
I like it. All right,
Yeah.
Suds, who you shouting out this week?
Hey man, we got a couple of shout outs this week. Gonna keep it light, gonna keep it tight. Obviously, clear Bucks fan here. I gotta give a shout out to first Jake Camarda, the punter, 74-yard punt, 59.5
I love hearing the punters get in
average.
on this.
The leg on this kid, man, and I
Fantastic.
think he took a shot. Somebody rocked
Oh,
him
really?
too.
Okay.
Somebody rocked him and got back up, still doing his thing. Also, got a shout out Scotty Miller.
Scotty Scooter.
Bad drop, bad drop. We didn't
Uh,
even
oh,
need.
was it in the
It
end
was in the
zone?
end zone. Bad
Yeah.
drop. Came back, made his plays, very crucial catches. You know what I'm saying? Like getting out of bounds. He largely redeemed himself in the eyes of most Bucks fans. So I got to shout him out. But I need that touchdown though. I need the touchdown. Still got to
Okay.
shout you out though. Aiden Hutchinson, what a smart play on that interception. He knew, you could see it in his eyes. He knew it was coming. He and
Drifted
he I
back.
think he faked Aaron Rodgers out because I think he
Yeah,
took a step forward
he
and
did, and then
then
he drifted back. Yeah.
drifted back, caught that
Yeah,
interception.
he
The
did
look on
the
Aaron Rodgers' face.
he did the little tight end move, like I'm blocking. I'm blocking. No, I'm not.
Yep. Yep. And got the length to get there though. Shout out Juju Smith Schuster. Another 10 catches. Finally feeling like he's home in that offense,
Yeah,
man.
man, they need him
Yeah.
too. They can't
Yeah.
rely. They needed a wide receiver to step up to take the pressure off Kelsey. So,
Yeah.
like
Just
good
another,
for him.
and that's what he was brought in for, just to be that middle of the field, consistent catching guy who can make a little bit of, he has a little bit of juice and,
Yeah,
and
they got
after the
this.
catch.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
got the speed guys. They need the possession guys.
Exactly, exactly. And I guess last but not least, this might be my favorite shout out. Got to shout out Gabe Davis for the Diplomats cleats from Nike.
Bro,
Hey, I
Dipset,
seen it. Dipset,
Dipset.
yeah, gotta shout them boy. Gotta shout that man out. Couldn't get over Sauce Gardner on that last play though. Gotta
Dude,
say that.
Sauce
Shout
had
to
a day.
he did. Shout to Sauce Gardner. But the Diplomats cleat, so much
I
drip. Got to
love it,
shout
dude.
that out.
Oh
Yeah.
man, I could sit in our boy Matt's SUV today and listen to
Yep.
that album.
Both CDs.
Yes. Oh
Yeah.
man. Well, great shout outs. Let's get into these matchups of
Let's do it,
the
man.
week.
Yeah. You want to go first on your matchup?
Yeah, my first matchup, we've already talked about it a lot. You alluded to it a little bit in your 3 and out question. It is the Washington Commanders at the Philadelphia Eagles. Good
Ooh,
old
yeah.
fashioned rivalry. These
Yeah.
uniforms are going to be looking great on Monday night. I hope the Eagles come out with the all black and the Commanders come out with the all white. Get that good versus evil vibe going because we all know the Philly fans are evil. But the Eagle, like I said earlier with your question, the Eagles, you're holding your breath every week, as we do with these undefeated teams. When we get
hmm
higher and higher in the week, you got to lose sometime. You think you very rarely does the team go undefeated and then win the Super Bowl. Just ask Tom and his New England days. But you got to
Yeah.
think the Eagles suffer a loss at some point. Is it going to be the Cowboys? Is it going to be the Giants? Is it going to be another predominant team that gets them? The Commanders probably going in this week thinking, why not us?
That's what I would be thinking.
Yeah.
Hell. But and also Drew, like it looked like that they were going to win. They were in that game. So it
And
is a
battled to the
confidence
end,
builder. Yeah,
which
it
you
is.
can't say for the Commanders some weeks. They fought to the end. What I was going to say, I wrote it down, is what he made. I know Heineke is not the most talented quarterback in the league. I get that.
Right.
But what he makes up for is he just goes out there and does whatever it takes to try to advance that ball up the field.
Yeah.
So I know it's cliche to say, but Heineke's heart could get them far in this game, especially
Yeah.
if the Eagles have won so much they go a little bit on cruise control.
That's very true. It could be a letdown game, not a trap game, but just a letdown game from them just kind of going through the motions and cruising,
Yeah.
which, there are some teams out there that are guilty of, which is why they have losses. I'm looking at you, Tampa Bay. But, like, I think this has to be the week for
Yeah.
them. And if they can somehow win this game against the Eagles, they could really turn some things around, get a lot of confidence going forward. It is a division matchup. Eagles are at home, but if you can beat them at home, what does that say
Oh man.
for what you might be able to do against the Eagles
Yeah.
and put on tape for the rest
And
of
the
the
rest of the
league?
division. Yeah.
Yep.
Because now,
Yeah,
I
division
mean,
two.
you're 3 games into the division. You got another 3 to go.
Right.
3 wins goes a long way.
Yep. Gets them back to 500.
Yeah, too. Yeah. And that's, as we pointed out just a minute ago. Huge in the NFC.
It is. It really is. It really is. It definitely is. All right. You got any more? You got anything
No,
else?
what's your matchup? What's your first matchup?
So just we talked about this before, but it's gotta be the Tampa Bay Seattle game, the Germany game, very big game.
Big implications in the NFC landscape.
Yeah. And before I wanna highlight the Seattle Seahawks before we actually talk about the Bucks, because this is a big game for them because of what the Bucks have been able to do the last couple of years and who the Seattle Seahawks are right now. So this is a big game for them because you knock off the Bucks. Now you put your stamp on the conference. You're 7-3. You're still in first place more than likely,
By two
and
games.
by 2 games, and you still have the rest of these division teams to play. But I think that 2 game lead just gives them that cushion of comfort.
Yeah.
And not that they'll get complacent, but it's just like, okay, we're here. We just need to keep and stay the course. You
And
know
they
what I
got to
mean?
win over the Rams and the Cardinals. Like they
Yep.
got the 49ers got them, and you assume they would again with what they've added. But you
Yeah.
got to think going 2-1 again in the division goes a long way towards those playoff spots.
Yeah, man. And surprisingly, or maybe unsurprisingly to, those around the Seattle area, but Seattle's fourth in points scored per game.
With
20
Geno
with
Smith
Geno,
and their
26.8.
top rusher going down to injury.
That's yes. And what the problem is for the Bucks though is they're 25th in point score per game, and this past game only getting 16 points. They were lower than their mean, so they've got to do something
Yeah.
different, more tempo. I said it earlier.
Which I got to give them. Like I know I just brushed over on that, but I got to give them way more credit for that. Name another team that lost their top rusher and was able to bounce back like they have. Like
Yeah,
the Colts lost Taylor, and that shut them down.
yeah,
The
yeah,
Titans would be the same place if Henry went out. Like shout out to the Seahawks for having a plan in place, a next man up to be like,
yeah.
yeah, we lost our top guy,
Yep.
but we got other guys.
There's their scheme, and they usually do have 2 or 3 running backs
They do,
there.
they do,
But
because they get hurt every year. Their top rusher goes out just
what's
about every year.
no, you're right. But what's crazy is though, I think the Bucks actually match up very well for what Seattle does to their strength. I think the unknown is going to be the crazy plays that you used to get with Russell Wilson. I think Geno's a little bit more structure, which actually hurts them
Yeah,
because Russell Wilson was able to hurt you with the
a little
off script
chaos.
plays,
Yeah.
right? But getting Akeem Hicks back, so now our running defense strength is back. That's what they do. Getting after the quarterback. Vita Vea was getting after it. Two sacks on Matt Stafford. So now the interior and the exterior, and talking about losing a guy, this defense had, I want to say, 4 or 5 sacks on Matt Stafford last week. Now the offensive line is what it is, but guess who they like? They lost Shaq Barrett for the year, and this was without him that they're able to do that.
Yeah.
So I think that bodes well. They've got to protect Tom. The Seattle defense had 5 sacks. Their pass game. What's interesting though, and this is a note about how anemic the passing is in this whole league right now, but for as anemic, great word, as the Bucks offense has
SAT
been,
word for the day.
they are fifth in passing yards per game. So Tom
Wow.
doing a lot, right?
I mean,
Tom is doing a
chucking
lot.
it.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
is. He is, but Bucks continuing to they've kind of dipped in the rushing yards against per game, but every other category they're top, except for sacks and rushing yards and interceptions. But other than that, they're top 10 in most of the other categories. So I think
I'm
the
excited
point
about this
score
game,
comes
man.
down. Yeah, it is in Germany, so you got to toss up there. Yeah.
Which I've been watching Good Morning Football all week because that crew for NFL
Oh, they're over
Network's
there.
been in Germany all week,
Right.
and
Right.
it's just been entertaining, man. They've had each day they've had a different German-born NFL player.
Oh, nice.
So it's just been fun, man. It's been
Nice. Make sure you wake
kudos.
up.
Yeah, kudos to the NFL for their coverage of what they're
It's
doing.
gonna be 9:30 Sunday. 9:30.
Yeah. All right, my second matchup of the week is the Los Angeles Chargers at the San Francisco 49ers. High powered offense, if they're healthy, versus another high powered offense, if they're healthy. But we got the battered and bruised Chargers trying to keep up with the 49ers' new offense. And but my whole thing, the big X factor is, can Jimmy G manage the game? Because that's all they
Yeah.
need him to do now. Just be a game manager. I know it's an evil word to say. Just manage the game and don't turn the ball over. Get the ball to CMC.
Yep.
Get it to your playmakers. Debo's back. Let them
I
do their
mean,
thing.
yeah. Yeah. I think that has to be the whole mantra of the 49ers is just don't let Jimmy
Don't
G.
turn the ball over.
Yeah, just don't let Jimmy G go full Jimmy G
Because
and
it's
just
still
kind
a
of,
great Chargers defense.
yeah, it
They
can
have
be.
injuries. They like
Yeah.
Khalil Mack ripped the ball out of the dude's hand
Yeah.
and
Drake
ran it
London.
back.
Yeah. Man, oh man, how crazy was it? I guess just a quick little note, but how crazy was it that the Falcons could have won that game had that defensive line not just lost the football when he was running down the damn field? But the Falcons,
I love the fumble to fumble.
yeah, it's a great play. That's a great play.
Like the referees are like,
Somebody's got it. Somebody's got it.
yeah,
Nah, man, I'm looking forward to this game because I want to see. I don't think they're getting Elijah Mitchell back for this game, right? But they're
yeah. He
working with
won't
him.
if he does get activated.
Yeah,
He won't be back this week.
yeah. But continued CMC, and then once Elijah Mitchell goes back, I obviously want to see that. But I want to see CMC, I want to see Ayuk, and I want to see Debo all on the field, and I want to see them
And Kittle,
each and Kittle. Yes, I want to see them utilize all the weapons.
juice check.
You know what I'm saying? Full arsenal. That's what I want to see. Get it done, Shanahan.
Yeah, because they got arguably the best weapon set in the league.
Yeah,
Yeah, they don't have
yeah,
that flashy receiver, but Ayuk's great.
yeah.
Samuel's
Is
great.
I guess the question is Justin Herbert going to be able to? Are him and Austin Eckler going to be able to keep up?
I'm keeping my eye on it because everywhere I've seen it's questionable. Questionable. It's can
Mm,
Keenan Allen make it back for this game? Because that'll be a
yeah.
huge shot in the arm for the Chargers if Keenan
Mm,
Allen can come back. Because I think Williams is hurt now, right? So
yeah.
got to get some
Yeah.
like and their second tight end because they've been running Everett and Parham two tight end
Yeah.
sets. Parham's dealing with some injuries, so
Yeah. And Everett's kind of stepped up and made some really
yeah,
tough catches, which I can
yes.
appreciate. But
He's had to. There's nobody else to throw.
exactly,
It's
exactly.
Everett and Palmer. Like that's where he's just
And
divvying it up.
And speaking of not being there, I think Keenan Allen has to keep his name out of every best insert wide receiver conversation because you are not on the field, sir.
He
You
sat on
are
my
not
bench
on the field.
all year. He played week one, and he's a player that you don't want to cut. You don't
Right.
want to drop him.
Because the ability's there, but
Yeah,
you just can't stay healthy.
yeah, man, can't do it. So I'm very intrigued to see who wins this game because both of them need a win to keep pace with what they got going on.
Exactly. Exactly. Talking about keeping pace, that's what getting into my next matchup. And I thought Drew was about to snatch this one up. It is the Minnesota Vikings at the Buffalo Bills.
Arguably the game of the week.
Are you at 1 o'clock? We get this at 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
1 o'clock next week on Fox, man. You gotta have it. And this is for both teams, I think, because now you got Buffalo coming off of a loss. Even though it's a interconference matchup, they still cannot afford to lose, even though it won't necessarily hurt them in the playoff
But
seeding, stuff like that.
if we're talking injuries, they're going to want that bye. They're going to want that week, that
Exactly.
first week bye in the
Exactly.
playoffs. That's so
Yep.
coveted now that there's only one of
Yep.
them.
So Buffalo can't afford a 2-game skid at this. They can't afford a 2-game skid. Minnesota, on the other hand, they're fighting for not relevance, but like they're fighting to get over the hump in people's minds. They're trying to sway public opinion, basically.
You can never get too far ahead of the Packers.
Exactly. Well, that too.
To feel comfortable,
But I think like
if they're still mathematically in the game, I wouldn't feel safe in Minnesota.
That's true until it comes across the the bottom line that
Yeah.
they're eliminated
Eliminate
from the playoffs.
mathematically. I love those words.
Right.
Mathematically eliminated. Like, there we
You're
go.
done. You're
You're
done.
done.
But I think in the court of public opinion, it'll be if the Minnesota Vikings can get a win, this will solidify them as one of the top teams beating that Buffalo Bills team on the road.
Yep.
You know,
Huge. That's
so
a
I
that.
guess
I mean, that's one of those talking about. We see the players on the plane home, like swagging out and
yeah,
enjoying the win.
yeah.
If that's a team that thrives on that, how
Mhm.
far does a win over the Bills take them?
Exactly. So they will be highly motivated, and I think that honestly bodes well for the Vikings. I still don't know if they're going to win, but I know they're going to be as confident as they need to be coming into it,
Yes.
which can be a very scary
Yes.
thing.
Confident
And
team will beat a talented team in the playoffs nine
The
out of
Bills
10
could
times.
be hell yeah, and the Bills could be lacking that confidence after losing to the lowly Jets in terms of their odds, who they don't
Yeah.
think should be on the same page with them. So I do. I guess just getting real quickly, I'll give you two specifics of what I want to see. I do want to see somebody else aside from Justin Jefferson.
Same.
Maybe get
I mean,
TJ
I have
Hawkinson
Justin
more
Jefferson,
involved.
so keep it going. Yeah.
Right, right, yeah. Self-serving,
But it
self-serving.
was great to see Hawkinson thrive in that first week.
Yeah. And on Buffalo's side, I mean, talking about the passing game, I need somebody else aside from Stephon Diggs to wholly take over a game. I want to see more consistency from Gabe Davis from week
Dawson,
to
where you at?
week. Dawson Knox, where you at? You know what I'm saying? Like Isaiah McKenzie had that one game, but largely nothing
Why is he
this past
not
week.
being used
So
like Debo Samuel in Buffalo? Like, I don't get it.
I don't know. So Buffalo's they've got some things to figure out defensively. You know, I really can't be mad at them for losing that game. I mean, shit, they lost 20 points. They gave up 20 points, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
You think you
It's on the
win? You think
offense.
your offense does enough or can do enough to get you
Yeah.
21 points?
So this is a big game for a lot of different reasons. I don't know who's going to win, but I'm glad it's
It's going to be good entertainment because I honestly
exactly.
do not care.
Yeah.
I just want to see a good game.
Hopefully I can roll right into that game fresh off a win in Germany over the Seattle Seahawks and
Man,
then get
that
that at 1
really,
o'clock.
I'm not gonna lie though, that
Woo!
sets you up for failure though. Like don't start your
What?
Sunday off on a down note.
I
If the
know,
that suck,
man. I
that's tough. That's
know.
tough.
It's a
At
tough,
least I
tough
get
being a
mine
morning
over on
drop.
Thursday this week, and then I can just enjoy Sunday.
Yeah, and then by Friday you take the loss, however you take it. But then like you got Friday and Saturday to let it chill, and then be able to enjoy
I'm in that
Sunday.
beautiful, I'm in that beautiful realm where I'm pulling for a loss, baby. Let's go. Let's keep losing. We got the second pick right now. Let's keep
Let it
that
ride.
up.
Let it ride. I like it.
We need a new quarterback.
Yeah,
Let's get in these locks. Like I
let's
said,
do it,
I
man.
am got gained 2 points. I'm 9-9. You sir 13-5.
Hey, I'm
Look at
bound,
that.
playoff
Look at
bound,
that.
baby. Number
Look at
one
that.
seed. Number
Look at
one
that.
seed.
We collectively went 4-0 last week, so we made some good picks. Uh I got a good one for you on the win. So let's start with losses this week.
Okay. All right.
Who's guaranteed to lose this week?
Oof, man. I I'm looking at it.
It's it's
I'm
one
looking
of
at this slate of
don't
games.
be careful. It's one of those schedules that you look. The
It's
more you look
yeah,
at it, the more you're gonna talk yourself out of some things.
yeah. I'm looking at it, and I'm gonna be very honest with you. This one is largely sticking out to me because I think with a loss, like they're completely done. So you said we're going with the loss, or we're going with the
Yeah,
win first?
lost first.
Loss first. LA Rams. I got the LA
Ooh,
Rams losing to the Arizona Cardinals. Here I
ooh.
go.
Here you go with the
But
Cardinals.
I
They're gonna
know,
let you
man.
down. They're gonna break your heart.
Nah, but I think this might be the week that like they put the Rams to bed because
I was about to
they
say, is that
like
it for them if they
the
lose again?
Rams, the Bucks won, which I'm happy, you know what I'm saying? But it was the Rams who lost the game.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So I think the Cardinals can put them to bed, and the Cardinals should be they should want to get back from having that turmoil on the sidelines last week. So I got the Rams losing. Drew, who you got?
In my loss this week, it's the battle of two lost seasons. I got the Saints finally putting that last nail in the coffin, losing to Kenny Pickett and the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I was wondering where you're going with that. You tap dance around who was going to lose on that
Yeah,
for a second. I didn't
I
know if you
got
was
I
going
got
the
the
Steelers or
Steel
the.
I got the Saints losing to the Steelers.
Oh man, what a joyous occasion that will be to see
Yeah,
them have another loss on their
right,
schedule.
right. Especially
It's
to an
great times.
upstart quarterback.
Yeah, yeah, oh
Love it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right,
All
who's
right,
who's
man.
winning this week?
Oh man, I feel like I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna pick the Bucks game. I just have a feeling like we match up well with them. I think we'll get a win. There's just something
Tough
about
though.
it. I
Seahawks are
can't.
playing good, just good enough to where you don't want to bet against them.
Right, exactly. So I'm gonna go with the even more tricky game, and I'm gonna choose that one. Oh man, I'm gonna go with. Damn, it just hit me. I was gonna go with the other team, but I'm going with the Chicago Bears.
Ooh,
I'm going with the Chicago Bears. I think maybe I'm riding a high on Justin
who they
Fields
taking
getting
out
that
this
that
week?
178-yard game. The Detroit Lions.
Okay,
They're taking
okay.
out the Detroit Lions. Detroit Lions fresh off a win.
Lions and
These are
Tigers
two
and Bears.
teams who should be confident, but I think the Lions are going to be flying a little bit too high, and they're not going to realize what's in front of them, and that's a confident Justin Fields.
Could be a
So
sneaky good game this week too.
I think
I'm
so.
excited
I
about it.
think so. Damn. If I go 0-2, I'm breaking something.
The way the NFL season goes, it's all a coin toss, right?
All right, you're right.
All right, my pick. I'm jumping on that. I'm jumping on that bandwagon earlier. I'm riding with my UNC brethren. I'm going Jeff Saturday. Pumps
Oh,
up those Colts in his first game as a head coach, and they ride that emotional high and possibly Matt Ryan to a win over the Raiders, the downtrodden, beaten up Las Vegas Raiders.
there. I don't know that there's some teams with the same record as the Las Vegas Raiders, but I don't know that there's a more embarrassed team
They had such
than
high
the
hopes.
than the Las
You
Vegas
went out and you
Raiders.
get the best wide receiver in the game. Carr looking like he's an adequate NFL
Yeah.
quarterback. You got Hunter Renfro coming off of a career year. You got
Mm-hmm.
arguably one of like top 5 tight end in the game. You got Max Crosby leading a resurged and recharged defense. You got the genius behind all those years with Brady in New England as your new head coach. And you put up 2 wins
Drew
in the
just read
first
their whole
9 weeks.
resume. Their whole resume. Yeah, that's disgusting. That is what that is. And the wide receiver hasn't been the problem. He's either not getting the ball or he's putting up numbers. It's
He's
not
made
him.
some ridiculous catches that he shouldn't have caught because Carr did not put it where it needed to be whatsoever. Same for Renfro
Yeah,
and
that's it.
Hollins. They got the
They
two.
have talent. They have
Jacobs.
talent.
Tell me
They
Jacobs
have
isn't a
talent.
top 10
I
running
don't
back.
know. That means it's coaching. That has to mean it's coaching.
Some people just aren't supposed to be a head coach.
We talked about it before,
Yep.
man.
I
Talked
you
about it
you shouted
before. I
like
don't
I got to
know.
give you your credit there. Some people are just made to be coordinators and they need to stay coordinators.
Stay in
Quick
your lane.
final question before we get out of here for the whole
All
week.
right.
If this doesn't work out, does he go back to New England? He did
Probably.
before.
Probably. Yep. Come on home. Come on home, Josh. Come on home.
Maybe when
Bill,
Belichick finally retires, they'll
right.
give McDaniels and Patricia co-head coaching job.
Yep. Come on right back under this wing right over here. There's always a
Welcome
spot
home.
for you on
Welcome
Belichick's
home.
roster. Yeah.
Welcome home.
I don't know, man.
Yeah. Oh man, Sean, where can they find you?
At the Kid Suds on Twitter, man. At nickel_Dom FB on the Twitter as well. And at the illustrious nickel_Dom football on Instagram. Drew, where can they find all of your content, my guy?
Check out drewharrisoncomedy.com. Got episodes of this, comedy podcast, sketches, comedy clips, where I'll be coming up. Hopefully have a banger of a 2023 to share with you here soon. But yeah, follow me on Instagram at Laugh with Harrison. More importantly, hit that subscribe button. Stick with us. This season's just going to keep getting better and better, and we can't wait to talk about it with you. So we'll see you next time.